Hi, my name is Logan Hubler, and this is the interactive advanced concept presentation number 3, the vinegar and baking soda rocket. So for this experiment, I used an empty plastic water bottle, this empty bottle, before I made my experiment, some distilled white vinegar, and some baking soda. So to set up my experiment, I first emptied this water bottle and I duct taped 3 pencils around it with the erasers facing up. So that way for my experiment, I could shake it up when I was done and turn it upside down so it would launch into the air. Unfortunately, my experiment did not work. As you could see, my cork winded up going inside of the bottle rather than shooting out, so it did not work. But to set up my experiment, I put about 1 tablespoon of baking soda into my bottle, and I wrapped the baking soda tightly in a paper towel. So the 1 tablespoon of baking soda was wrapped in a paper towel and put into the bottle. And then I filled the bottle about halfway, like about to here, with distilled white vinegar. And then I put a paper towel. I used a paper towel as a cork for the top to cover it. And then I shook the contents with this bottle. I shook it up with the cork on top, flipped it upside down so the pencils were on the ground. And now, like I said, it was supposed to launch into the air like we saw in the video, but mine did not work because I don't think my cork was tight enough. So my cork actually wound up going inside of this bottle. It went inside with the baking soda and the paper towel, and all my contents just like leaked out onto the grass. So it did not shoot up into the air. But what was supposed to happen was the launch into the air like we saw in the video. And this is because when vinegar and baking soda are mixed, there's a lot of bubbling and foaming occurring. The bubbles and foam are filled with carbon dioxide gas, CO2, that's being released by an acid-base reaction. Vinegar is acetic acid dissolved in water, and baking soda is called sodium bicarbonate. Initially, the reaction makes carbonic acid, which is unstable. Then it quickly breaks down into CO2 and water. The gas leaves rapidly, creating bubbles and foam. Now, I did see the bubbles and foam occurring as soon as I dropped in my baking soda wrapped in the paper towel into the distilled vinegar. It started foaming and bubbling, so then I shook it really quickly, put the cork on, and turned it upside down and hoped to see a reaction, but I hoped it would go into the air, but unfortunately all I saw was the bubbling and foaming. It did not go into the air. So closing the plastic bottle with the paper towel as my cork prevents the CO2 from escaping the bottle immediately, which causes a rapid increase of pressure inside the bottle. Now, as I said, my cork did not actually do that because I don't think my cork was like thick enough for this opening. Like there was a tiny piece that was still visible. So that explains why my contents flipped out of the bottle and my rocket did not go into the air like a typical rocket that you see. The pressure was supposed to build up so much that the cork can no longer contain the gases and the rocket takes off, as we saw in the video. The cork exploded off, the rocket flew into the air. The cork and the contents in the bottle explode through the opening. So that's what we saw, as I said in the video. The cork like popped off the top, the contents went flying into the air, causing the rocket to go in the air. I don't want to like tip it over, stuff will fall out. So as the contents in the bottle shoot downward, the bottle itself shoots upwards. So the contents in the bottle are pushing down, but the bottle itself is wanting to go upward, which is why it's causing the reaction to spring upward like a rocket. This demonstrates Newton's third law of motion, which states for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. The initial action in this experiment is the rush of material and the force out of the opening going, which pushes hard against the air behind the bottle. Now, the reaction in this experiment is the air pushing back with the same amount of force going the other way. The bottle is thrust forward as the rushing from the gas and shoots backwards. So what was supposed to happen was you were supposed to I put the baking soda wrapped in the paper towel, about a tablespoon of it, put it inside the distilled vinegar, which is filled halfway. I corked it, I shook up the contents, flipped it upside down. Now it was supposed to take off. Like I said, the cork was supposed to pop off, causing the rocket to go up into the air. But as I said, my cork did not cover fully, so that's why my contents flipped out, and all I saw was the bubbling and the foaming rather than my bottle exploding into the air. But those are the results that were supposed to happen, and that is the explanation why. Thank you.